When two Hollywood stars fall into each other's arms, fans expect fireworks, red carpets, and maybe even a fairy tale ending. But sometimes, the story ends just as fast as it begins. Shailene Woodley and Lucas Bravo seemed like the perfect match until suddenly, they weren't. Their whirlwind romance has come to a surprising halt, and while sources insist there's no drama, the signs tell a very different story. The news broke quietly, but it spread like wildfire. Just 3 days after whispers of a breakup surfaced, insiders confirmed that Shailene Woodley and Lucas Bravo had officially gone their separate ways. According to those close to the couple, the split was recent, but it wasn't explosive. No cheating scandals, no messy fights, no harsh words exchanged. Instead, it was summed up in 3 simple words: different priorities. Shailene, now 33, is said to be laser-focused on her career, pouring everything into her projects. Lucas, 37, has his own commitments and goals pulling him in another direction. On the surface, it sounds calm, almost too calm. But as fans know, when a Hollywood love story ends without drama, there's often more beneath the surface. And to understand this split, we need to rewind back to when it all started. Their love story felt like something ripped straight from a rom-com. On March 23, the pair stepped out together in Paris, and the world took notice. The PDA, the laughter, the undeniable chemistry, it was enough to convince fans that Shailene Woodley and Lucas Bravo were more than just friends. By April 30, the couple made it Instagram official, sharing snapshots from a desert adventure in California's eccentric Slab City. For a brief moment, their feeds were filled with smiles, road trips, and that intoxicating glow of new love. But then, something changed. Those photos later disappeared from Lucas's grid, and Shailene wiped nearly all of her Instagram posts from early 2025. To fans, it felt like watching a romance build and collapse in record time. For Shailene, this wasn't her first high-profile love story to end under the spotlight. Just a few years ago, she was engaged to NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers, a relationship that dominated headlines and divided fans. Their engagement seemed picture-perfect, but behind the scenes, differences in lifestyle and priorities eventually pushed them apart. The breakup left Shailene cautious, reshaping how she approached love and commitment. Even now, many fans still compare her newer romances to that whirlwind with Rodgers, wondering if she's been searching for stability ever since. Those close to her say the Rodgers breakup made her more guarded and perhaps more focused on long-term goals than fleeting passion. And maybe, just maybe, that mindset played a role in how her story with Lucas Bravo unfolded. Because beneath the glamour of red carpets and film premieres, Shailene has always carried a deeply personal dream: becoming a mother. In December 2024, she told Outside Magazine that raising a child was one of her biggest goals in life. But for Shailene, it isn't just about starting a family. She's been outspoken about her environmental activism, admitting she wants to help clean up the planet before ever bringing a child into it. In her own words, she couldn't imagine looking into her kids' eyes and saying, "Sorry, we ruined the world for you." That strong sense of responsibility has shaped nearly every decision she makes. And it may also explain why different priorities played such a big role in her split from Lucas, because while she was thinking about the future, he may have been focused on the now. Lucas Bravo, on the other hand, has always kept his personal life in the shadows. The French actor, best known for Emily in Paris, usually avoids relationship talk altogether. But during the early days of his romance with Shailene, he let his guard slip. At the opening night of Broadway's Good Night, and Good Luck in April, Lucas admitted he was really happy. For fans, it was a rare glimpse into a usually private man. And if you rewind even further, to an interview in 2020 with Elle Australia, Lucas revealed what truly draws him to someone: not looks, not status, but instant connection. He described it as the kind of moment when a single glance feels like a full conversation, where two souls recognize each other immediately. It's a deeply romantic outlook, but one that doesn't always line up with Shailene's grounded and future-focused perspective. And looking back now, the hidden signs were there all along. Shailene wiping nearly every Instagram post between January and August raised eyebrows, with fans suspecting she was quietly stepping away from the relationship. Lucas's own Instagram edits told a similar story, as photos of their once public romance quietly disappeared from his feed. To casual observers, it might have seemed like normal social media spring cleaning. But to fans who follow every detail, it felt like the beginning of the end. Rumors started swirling online. Maybe it wasn't just different priorities. Maybe Shailene's timeline of wanting a family clashed with Lucas's desire to stay free and focused on career adventures. Of course, none of this is confirmed, but in Hollywood, the quietest moves often speak the loudest. So what happens next? For Shailene, the answer seems clear. She's throwing herself into new roles, doubling down on her environmental work, and keeping her focus sharp on a future where motherhood is still a dream waiting to be realized. Lucas, meanwhile, is charting his own course. With Emily in Paris still on the map and several international projects lined up, his career is pulling him in directions far from Shailene's. Both stars appear content to walk separate paths, but fans can't help wondering. Was this really the end, or just a pause in a story that could one day resume? In the end, Shailene Woodley and Lucas Bravo's breakup isn't the explosive Hollywood scandal people might expect. There were no public fights, no messy headlines, just two people whose paths stopped running parallel. Yet sometimes, that kind of quiet ending feels even more bittersweet. Their romance burned bright, fast, and left fans with more questions than answers. Was it simply bad timing, or do different priorities always outweigh instant chemistry? Love in Hollywood is rarely simple, and this story proves it. But now, it's your turn. Do you believe this breakup was inevitable, or could they find their way back to each other someday? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories from Hollywood's most surprising romances.